Well done.
We have next to Trevis is Olivia from Boyne Valley Flavours, and then we have Conal from Ards and North Down Council, Bird Council, and then we have Trudie Power from Wexford Food Family. I believe everyone's doing really well next door. Delighted to hear. And I'll let you kick it off there, Trevis.
Very good. Is that a bad thing in Ireland to say he's kicked off?
Kick it off. We're kicking off. Thank you.
That's how we're going to start, really. Come here, you're all very welcomed. And those of you in the back for the networking and all, grab a coffee and smile and all that. Feel free, please, to take whatever photographs, post it on social media. We're hashtag. What are we hashtagging with? Hashtag in Bloss 2022, and we can hashtag the backyard at Bloss, all that. One favor, if you would, though, however, if you are going to take photographs, it was very dark this morning when I got up and got dressed and left the house, and I didn't realize that I put on white socks. My wife would kill me if that ends up on. So please, from the knees up. So come here, you're all very welcome to Dingle, and wanted to let you know of one very special change that has been made, and that is that the grand champion this year is going to get a lifetime parking pass for Dingle, because apparently that's probably the most important thing that we could give at this point. Obviously I'm joking, but maybe I wasn't joking. So you're all very welcome to Dingle. On this lovely and rainy day, but sure, if we had planned a rain date, it was going to rain on that anyway. So we're here to talk about food networks and their importance. And I was asked to come and speak to this because we are tomorrow, in fact, in this very space, we'll be launching the Corca Dhuibhne Food Producers Network, West Kerry Food Network. We're branded as Bia Dingle, so you're all very welcomed here. For 11:30, we'll have some nibbles, we'll have some speeches, and all that kind of carry on. So you're very welcomed for that. So next to me is Olivia Duff, Boyne Valley Flavours. You're very welcomed.
Thank you.
And how are the Boyne Valley entrants doing right now?
Brilliant. I believe our first recipients this morning, Clua Castle, and they're here in the room. We have a gold, a silver, and a bronze. So fantastic. They've gold for their venison sausages. So we're super, super proud of them. So
Very
well
good.
done,
Congratulations.
Guys. Yeah.
And may it continue for you. Conal Stewart from North Down Food and Drink Network.
Yep.
How is North Down doing today?
One so far, most of them this afternoon. Oh, is that two?
You're on now. You're good.
We have Planty Boy Estate yogurt, have a bronze from this morning, and there's 10 more products to come from.
Very good. So it's off to a good start.
Off to a good start.
Very good. And also then we have Trudie Power from Wexford Food Family.
Yep, they're right.
How's Wexford doing?
The Wexford Food Family are doing great. Scoop Gelato are after winning Best in County for their ice cream and sorbets. And we had Irish Country Meats for the lamb, they got a bronze. And Cologne Farmer in there, and they're after getting silver and gold for their cream cheeses.
All right.
So the Wexford Food Family, we have over 90 products as finalists here from the Wexford Food Family Group.
Big round of applause for all of them. So as I said, we're about to launch the Corca Dhuibhne Food Producers Network, and that's pretty much the end of the beginning, and then the real work happens. I'm kind of referring to tomorrow as sort of a commencement speech, and then we have to go and get jobs. But we went through a long process. I like to use the old term of never waste a good crisis, and for us, the crisis was there was something that was going around for a little while, and it closed a few things down over the last couple of years. And so nobody could get out, obviously. And so we had the opportunity to get together, and we'd never had a network before, and we started talking with each other as producers. What can we do? How can we pivot? How can we do this? And NEWKD and the Leader Program, et cetera, helped us with that. And we sort of learned, and from that we decided that we needed a network. So we're going to have a little fun today. I'm going to put everybody on the spot with a bunch of one-word answers. So I'll start from the other end. So Trudy, give me a one-word answer of why it was well, first you can tell me when, but then why it was that Wexford Food Family coalesced as a network. So when did you form?
Okay, so it was formed in 2011. So
Right.
it was formed by Paula Ronan. She had the foresight to see that the Wexford County had amazing fruits, spirits, producers, and she had set it up with the help of the Leos and with support board Bia.
All right. So what one word would you say was sort of what made you help to coalesce?
Networking. I came on the scene 5 years later.
Just one word.
Networking. But you have to describe what a
I will.
network
And
is.
what we're going to do then is we're going to go back and get into depth in it. How about for yourself, Conal?
So our Ards North Down Borough Council set out a food and drink development strategy in 2018. Then the network formed in 2019. We'd really only just got up and running when the C word happened.
Yeah.
Things were starting to work out quite well. The reason for that was because it was felt that we had good quality producers in the area, and it was underestimated, we thought at the time as well. Our proximity to Belfast was set up as being a good destination for proximity to airports and access to airports, and it was felt that there was a lot more could be done. So the network was formed in May 2019, and I was brought into position at that point then as the coordinator of the network. And I would say the one thing that drove that was the need for our businesses to collaborate, from restaurants all the way through.
Collaboration.
Yeah, collaboration would be the word.
Okay, very good. And yourself?
My word is great people and passion. Can I choose one?
Jeez, that was 3 words now.
Passion.
But, passion, okay, that's a good one. And when did you form?
Our story, I suppose, is of a region. We began way back about 2005, 2007 with in Louth, the Oriel Food Producers Group, and in Meath, the Meath Artisan Producers, very much kind of led by Kevin Sheridan, Sheridan's Cheesemongers, Hugh Maguire, all of those great people who are still involved. But they were operating with 2 counties of Meath and Louth. Then in 2011, I joined the Fáilte Ireland Food Ambassadors Programme, and we went on a trip to Prince Edward County in Canada, and I came back thinking not only can we do what they were doing over there, but we can do it better. But it was based around food tourism. So we started the Meath Food Series, and then as the counties and as the region was identified as visitor-led and around food tourism, we morphed into the Boyne Valley Food Series, and then we rebranded in 2016-17 as Boyne Valley Flavours. So we are now Boyne Valley Flavours for the last 5 years.
So I want to get to that then, because that's really interesting. We've got a network, we've got flavors, and we have a family. So those are obviously 3 conscious choices that your organization's made. So we'll start with Ards and North Down Food and Drink Network. We're a network ourselves down here. Why do you remember why the word network was chosen for what you're doing?
Because it was essential to pull in as many people that had were stakeholders in our food and drink sector, not just hospitality, producers, independent retailers are very important to us. Because we've got 24 farm shops and people like Indie Food who are here as well, and food professionals. A significant number of food professionals that are not necessarily chefs, but people who are experts in where food and drink comes from, the origins of it, the heritage of it. So it was important for all those people to be part of the picture. So we encompass restaurants, food experiences providers. We have independent chefs. We have members who come from the local further education college, as well as producers. So 114 members. Producers are the biggest share of that, 60 of them. And then it would be restaurants would be around about 30, and then with the rest of them are all independent retailers and professionals. So we felt it was important to have the full 360 view on food and drink. If you're going to have everything linking up, and the whole point was we just wanted them all to find ways of working more with each other, and we wanted more visibility of our local produce in our local independent shops. They do a good job, but obviously we wanted to see more of that. And then also our restaurants, which at the time we felt were not necessarily doing enough to sort of advertise what they were using on their menus, etc., that was local. And by being in the same room as producers, it kind of brings that around, and people become more proud of the fact that they have X, Y, and Z as a producer, and that being listed on their menus is really important, and people being able to tell the story. So for us, it was important to bring in everybody that had a good, a vested interest in the local food supply chain.
Very good, thank you. And now, the Wexford food family, that's a lovely thought, a lovely idea, and we did play around with using that word as well. So tell me why that was used.
Well, the Wexford food family, our whole mission statement is the fact that we're family. So it's like having brothers and sisters. So each of the businesses support each other and collaborate with each other. And the whole essence is that if you wake up in the morning, you have a problem with refrigeration, we have a WhatsApp group, pop it into it. It's like your own family group saying, look, at anyone got help to bring a van from here to there. So we're very in real time. Everyone goes in on it, everyone uses it. And the whole focus of the family is that we can collaborate, grow each other's businesses. But even the things like that are out there now for sustainability and getting your Origin Green and applying for MAP grants and all the different grants for businesses from Leader, we help each other fill in forms now at this stage, because not everyone has the luxury of a quality person to fill in the forms. So you have one people businesses right up to the Irish Country Meats and the ABPs that are with the Wexford food family, and part of their community engagement then is to filter down and to support us. And like everyone in the Wexford food family has their own favourites in the family, and they all work together. And then you have other people that have come in new, and like we spend a lot of time and we give a lot of time, and it just makes our businesses better at the end then. And it is really just a family essence, and we're all producers. And the whole Wexford food family is run by the members, for the members. And it's not a non-profit, so we push the money back from the membership into the advertisement and social media and that to promote the Wexford food family as a brand rather than individuals in the Wexford food family.
All right.
So we just feel that we're brothers and sisters. We help out no matter what happens, what crisis.
You have the occasional spat.
We're here celebrating now for each other.
Yeah,
and,
very good.
You know, we're very close-knit, and like we have an issue at the moment where we can't deliver our product to a national listing, so Cologne helps us out now on a daily basis until we get our feet under us and be able to do it, because our premises was too small to accommodate the pallet pickup from our premises. But that's it, everyone in a share, and very generous with their time as well. So family.
Family, all right.
Yep.
And flavours, Boyne Valley flavours.
So I think it came back to really more of the formal branding journey. We bandied around with all of the words that have been spoken about here, you know, network, food. In the end, it actually came up to a debate we had that food and drink was just as important of a story for us in the Boyne Valley, with so many brilliant drinks producers and distillers and brewers. So for us, whilst Boyne Valley Flavours, it's a lovely word. It's something we've all grown to use and to really harness. It's more about the values that brand represents to us that I think is more important. I think exactly what you're saying there, that you know, it's all through collaboration and amplifying each other that is more important, that what that brand stands for. And that was really part of the process, was kind of looking at, right, what are the goals, what do we want to achieve, but what are our values here, who helps who. And I suppose there's different businesses at very different stages in their business life cycle as well. So whereby somebody might have a refrigeration issue or a labelling issue just getting up and running, then somebody else might have an issue that might be an operational issue with staffing, and they might be 25 years in business. So it's more about the integrity of the brand and the values behind the name.
So I want to get into the benefits a little bit, but before we do that, each one of you tell us a little bit about your own business, what you produce, etc. So we'll start at your end. So
Okay, 22 years ago on September the 1st, 2000, I popped the two children off to school and had a baby in a pram of a year old, and I set about making coleslaw for the shop where my husband worked, Super Value. He was a craft butcher. And I made my little bucket of coleslaw, and off I went into the supermarket with it that day. And he asked me then, could I do potato salad? And the following day, he asked me, could I do pasta? The following week, he asked me, could I do sandwiches? So that's how the business grew, from literally making the first bucket of coleslaw. So 22 years on, we've 22 staff, and very proud of what we've achieved as a team. And our team is our best people. So we produce coleslaw, potato salad, sandwiches. We supply on a nationwide basis for BWG. Joe Ogan is down there.
So give us the name of your business so everyone can
Trudie's
look.
Kitchen.
Trudie's Kitchen.
Yeah.
So that's what you're looking for the next time you're out.
Yeah, we're here today then. We have 5 products in the finals here today at 1:30. So.
Yourself. Very
yes,
good.
So.
Conal, are you a producer?
No.
Right, next.
No, never have been. I came from a food network in England before that was set up for a national park, and I came into post to help set up our food and drink network and develop with the network members develop a brand as well. And our brand is called Taste Ards Northdown, and that's our visitor angle there. So essentially, I work for 114 businesses really.
Okay, and Olivia.
God. Anyone who knows me knows I wear a lot of probably hats. My family business and my bread and butter is the Hetford Arms Hotel in Kells in Meath. We employ 130 people, and we're 50 years in business this year. And so it's myself, my brother, and my mum. So my brother is MD. And then at home we've Mapebrath Farm. You probably remember my husband did the mobile farm down at the Dingle Food Festival for the last number of years. So unfortunately with COVID, his whole business was around OPW sites and contracting to schools and everything. So the mobile farm is no longer at the moment. Thankfully, he's a good carpenter and has gone back to construction. But we still produce everything ourselves on the farm, and we still supply, for example, our own sausages into the hotel onto our own menus and everything in Kells. So I'm still extremely passionate about that journey. And also during lockdown, which I hope to have next year here, we've just launched Kells Gin.
Oh.
So we have our own gin now as well. Yeah.
So Conal, I'll start with you because I want to talk about benefits. That's one of the things that we're trying to get our heads around is how do we attract new members, etc. So we need to come up with the benefits. So I'll ask the two ladies after Conal, what were the benefits that you found for your businesses yourselves? All right, not what the network says is going to be your benefits, but Conal, what would you say would be the benefits of membership to your members?
It depends on who you would ask. If it was a producer, it'd be very different from the restaurants.
So let's start with producers because everyone here is pretty much a producer.
So I think for a lot of our producers are very young. They're small and they're just getting a foothold in.
So are we talking young age or the business?
The business, the business. Actually, in both actually, because there's a lot of them I would describe as being sort of 20-somethings who are having a go actually, and that's the really good thing about our network. That there's so many of them are young and just really being very, very brave and going out there and doing it for themselves. And someone like me who's never had their own business, I'm impressed by that. So for them, being part of a network and being around each other, it's about them being around older businesses and being able to feed off some of their experiences, but also because we have that collective ability, it's collective buying, and being able to buy space at trade shows and things like that, and it allows them to get experience of going to trade shows, which is we have found really, really important for our younger businesses. So we will go to any event at all that we think that is going to give them good experience to be able to meet buyers and get feedback on their product, etc. And what they have found that invaluable. So of our 16 members over the last year, 22 of them have availed of a heavily discounted presence at a major trade show in Ireland. We have ambitions to do a lot more than that. Obviously, it's coming out of COVID, we've been a bit restricted, but getting our younger businesses in particular to trade shows is really, really important for them to understand and what they can learn from and pick up and perfect their product, because obviously some of them are still on that journey. Their product isn't quite there yet. I think there's a genuine issue of confidence to build up with a lot of them. For the bigger ones, I think it's also the larger business. I mean, our largest business is Mash Direct. There's a member in our area, all-encompassing, massive winner of everything. But they enjoy being around our younger business. It keeps their product fresh. I think they like being around each other because it helps them develop ideas. And of course, there's the odd argument where someone does another version of somebody else's product and maybe has much more success with it. That's bound to happen. But I think it keeps them competitive. It keeps them engaged and excited for what they do. But also another incentive for them is for a lot of those producers, some of them are not interested, in being sort of, available in every retail outlet. That's not what they're there for. Some of them just want to be artisanal and have very high end. They want to be very high end indeed, but they want to get a foothold in our local restaurant trade, and that's important for them because that's how they'll pick up new custom. So for them, it being around people who run restaurants and people who have independent retail shops, the independent delis, etc., it's really important for them to be around each other. So they see it as a way of accessing new customers, being around those other businesses. And we're looking at sort of we're going to organise in the next few months a meet the maker with all of our businesses, and we're going to invite people from outside the borough, surrounding boroughs, to meet them as well, so that they can showcase to local restaurants and independent retailers. Right. So that's probably the main benefit for them. Certainly for us, I would say about 40 of our 60 are probably no more than 3 or 4 man or woman band shows.
All right, so
yeah.
Trudy, you, for your business, the involvement in the food family, what was the benefit?
The benefits of it. Well, I became a member of the Wexford Food family because Pauline Dunn from Cologne nominated me to come in onto the board, and that's how it started.
Isn't it always the way?
And, somebody else legged me in, so I joined I came in as a member and then onto the board. My husband's a Kilkenny man, so he wasn't too impressed that I was shouting for Wexford, and he was kind of like, yeah, you're busy enough, you don't need anything else. So me being me then decided, I won't listen to him and I'll go and do it. So by joining the Wexford Food family, it was a great learning curve for us, because at the same time, the labelling legislation was after coming in for the EU 1169, and I think everyone can remember that time that everyone had to change their labels and that. So we did a lot of studies in relation to how to go about it and do it yourself, because if you had to get an external company to come in and do it, we'd 70-something products, so we needed to sit down and do it ourselves. So I found that the start that was there, that we helped others helped us, and I think from then on it was just a case that they're a great gang of people. At the end of the day, we go and do shows, so you could come home with a yogurt or a pot of jam or strawberry vodka, or what. We all share our products amongst each other when we're at shows like this. And I just think the friendships that were formed there, we always had friends at the doors where we'd be doing the deliveries, say to Pettit's Wexford or to Tesco's, anywhere, and you can see then that Cologne would pull up, and we were all doing deliveries ourselves at that stage. Some of them have gone now, that's only going out onto the big lorries, but we're still there, and the supports that are there and the friendships, and like we take different speakers. We've had Board Bia come to speak to us as a group, we've had Leader come to speak to us, and different companies. Like 3 weeks before the HSC got the hack, Wexford Food family had cyber security, and we had spoken on that 3 weeks before that happened. We've been talking about sustainability, about solar panels, even for everyone to renegotiate their electrical contract year on year, and things like that. We've saved money for each other, and anyone who's got something good or applied for something and share it with the group. Look, did you go and look into this or that? And like as a group then we're able to have a higher buying power from our suppliers as well, so that a lot of us have the same common suppliers as well, so that we're able to get better deals. So it's what you make of it yourself, it's what you put into it, it's what you get out of it. And we find that we want it to be an active membership, not somebody just pays it and rides on the coattails of it. We want everyone to participate and to join in and to support everyone and be active in it. It's an active membership, not like the gym where you might let it go and not do it.
Mayor, I want to ask a question, because to a person, everyone perked up. Strawberry vodka.
Strawberry vodka.
Whose is that?
Wexbury. It's
Wexbury.
A young man, Mark, and he's amazing. And you talking about the younger people coming in, he has his master's done in marketing. So we're going to we're going to use him now really well now going forward in relation to it. So he's liaising with Visit New Ross to promote the Wexford Food family. And Visit New Ross is another gang of young people doing drone footage and photography and films. So we even see, since we've engaged the two sets of young people, and we're just giving them information, like we want to promote Blast, we want to promote this, and then they take it because they have the aptitude to do what I don't like doing, which is social media, and I don't do it. But yeah, the younger people, like, he's a brilliant product out, strawberry vodka, that was launched last year, and it's going really well at the Rock and Food Festival and all of that. But and I think Slaney from the Potatoes is going to have a strawberry gin out next month. So we have,
Must
like,
indeed.
the way we look at it as well is Wexford is famous for its strawberries. So we have the Wexford cordials, the Wexford jams, the Wexford yogurts from Cologne. Now we have strawberry and vodka. So we're a great county to visit.
Very good.
So.
There's an ad for you. And Olivia, as the hotel, what did you see as your benefit?
Yeah, sure. So I suppose, like in any network, there's tangible and intangible benefits, or hard and soft. So the tangible ones, and I would say that the success of any network is with the support, hopefully, of agency, but it must come from the ground up, and very much from what you guys are saying. You know, we're all part of Ireland's food story. We're all part of the same community, and at the end of the day, we all want really the best things for our businesses. So the tangible benefits have been, like, I mean, we've had amazing support from the likes of Leo. They're just consistently there. We've had an amazing food officer appointed full-time, and I just want to acknowledge Grania is here, and it's her last official appointment as our food officer, so I just want to publicly thank Grania for all her work for us. But it's a living, working being. It has to be double-pronged between kind of private and agency. It has to be from the businesses' perspective. You have to be willing to collaborate. So from our perspective as an accommodation provider, like, I know every business is going to need something different. Like, producers' needs from a network will be very different from a restaurant or from a hotelier's perspective. So in harder times, it's no good anymore, and everyone in Dingle will know this, to see an advertisement for 2 nights bed and breakfast, 1 evening dinner. You've got to come up with, for example, now we have a ginspirational package based on our Kells gin. We have a Spirits of the Boyne Valley experience, which is 3 different drinks from the region in a tasting experience. We have a 30-mile menu as well, which you can book, and we source everything within 30 miles, and we tell the story. And then what happens is, when one business within the network does that, success breeds success. So then you're back to your soft stuff, like your WhatsApp group, and you see somebody puts up a great picture of somebody enjoying a wonderful Kahlua Castle bangers and mash last night, something really simple in a pub environment, but it tells an amazing story from the region. And now others start following suit, and that's the power of the network. And also, I would just say, from where we've come from, it's been a therapy session at times to realise that sometimes in business, other people are in the same boat, and whether it's that you can't find that distributor or you can't get a certain consignment to somewhere on time, and to know that somebody has your back and is in the same position and can help you. When, with time, that builds up, then the group forms an integrity, and I suppose, it gains strength with time. So they have been, so there's the brilliant tangible benefits of, and the courses we've been sent on, so much of what you've said there, the speakers, the HACCP courses that you absolutely dread, thinking, how am I going to get the staff away on that course? And next thing, ping, you see it coming in that there's a course going to be offered, it's at a subsidised value, and it's online, and you think, oh, thank God, and that's from the network.
So before we open it up to questions, and thank you all for that, could I get a show of hands of producers who live and work in an area of the country that has some sort of a food producers network? All right. And keep your hands up then. And of you, who's a member of that network? Okay, so a few less. And How many of you are here now from areas that you'd like to know more about starting a network? All right, so no benefits here. So we're going to open the floor up to questions now, and just to remind everyone, we've got Olivia and Conal and Trudy. So raise your hands, and Vivian has got the microphone there, so we can ask away. Don't be shy now. Yeah. Go away. While we're looking there, I can say, as from Bia Dingle's point of view, we learned so much from other food networks that were out there. There's no need in reinventing the wheel when it comes to this kind of carry on. So we looked around for best practices, and several of the food networks, etc., were on those Zoom calls with us that we all learned to love, to hate, to love. So that was a big part of us putting together our network, and the ground up. That's a very important one. And you were speaking of those levels of competition. We've sort of coined the term, or maybe we're using an already coined term, of co-opetition. We have here on the peninsula, for example, at the very end of the peninsula in Ballyferriter, we have Dingle Sea Salt, which is just now coming up, and they're an environmental powerhouse in what they're doing. So everything that they're doing is generated by the sun and the wind. So there's like zero grid going on there. Down the road in Ballyferriter, then there's west of Dingle Sea Salt, and they're doing a whole different kind of salt, the way they're harvesting, etc. And then they're doing some flavorings added on to that. And then one of the businesses that I'm involved in is called Dingle Spice, and we do a bunch of spice blends, etc. I can't wait until they can produce enough salt that I can use Dingle Peninsula sea salt in my mixes. There's nothing wrong with that, two salts and a spice company all on the same peninsula. We can help one another out. That's a big one. I've got a friend of mine who had the best restaurant in our neighborhood in Seattle before we moved here. That's where the accent's from, by the way. It was 10 years ago we moved, and he had a great little restaurant in this neighborhood. And then someone else opened up down the street, and down the street another person opened it up. Across the street someone else opened it up, and someone said to him, aren't you a little bit upset? Now you used to be the only restaurant. He said, are you kidding? Now we're a restaurant district. Now every night people are in here. They're not just coming to me, and it grew and it grew and it grew. He didn't get all of them every night. That's the kind of that element of co-opetition, and you can work together, and you can go and borrow literally a pound of butter if you need to kind of carry on. So any questions for our panel?
Can I just say something on that? That sometimes in the early stages of a network, I see I've kind of helped a few networks, or kind of given some talks to networks in early stages, and I feel that in the room that there's sometimes trust issues or closed book issues, whereby people are kind of a little bit wary about, opening their business values, if you like, to others. But it's so important for a network to thrive, to have that open mindset and that mindset of collaboration, and to realise that if you enter into a network, it's not really about you in the early stages. You've got to think about the wider picture, and if you do, then it will come back to you tenfold. If you open up that mindset and amplify each other. But sometimes it takes a little bit of time. I think especially in an Irish context, everybody's like, what's your man down the road doing there now? Or I'm not going to tell him. I'm not telling him who I'm supplying that with now. Yeah. As you will see, as a network starts to thrive, or there's some low-hanging fruit of the network to gain traction, people start to become more generous with their information.
We also found it's a small peninsula. It's a big peninsula, but it's a small population. There's only about 3,000 people that live here full time, and so you take into that, and then the food producers and the farmers and the fishers as well. Even a smaller group of that people, and the number of us that were on these calls, that are in the same business on the same peninsula, that had never met face to face before. And it was computer screen to computer screen, but still. And the friendships, the real solid friendships that have evolved over that time as well. We've got a question here. We'll bring the microphone over to you.
Not so much a question, but a comment just to follow on from what Olivia was saying there. I'm on the WhatsApp group of the Boyne Valley Flavors, and most of the WhatsApps that I see start with, does anybody know where I can get a ... And then there's a flurry of WhatsApps with people coming in with answers and help and direction and support. I think that's the real value.
And what is your product? And what your?
I work with the local enterprise office.
Yeah,
right, very good.
yeah.
But it's great. I mean, from my point of view, the network does all my work for me. So
Well, that, you know,
So thank you.
that's a real key, though. Like, Joe is head of Meath Leo and has been a supporter of ours from day one. But Joe said to me in the early days, "You make my job easy." And so when I hear people from around the country saying, "I never got a penny from the county council," I never, you know, and you hear that mindset, it's how did you approach it? You know, did you go with a plan? Did you go with a story? Did you go with your goals? And did you go with a real firm belief and passion that we always say, you know, this is going to happen, but with you on board, it would be a lot better, rather than saying, can I have, can we have, can we have? And for that reason, Leo have never said no to us, so I hope that continues.
Another question here.
Yeah.
Hi, it's Declan from Board Bia. So just to touch on what Olivia said there, I recall an experience I had with a person who had recently become a food producer who was in the rag trade before that. And they couldn't believe the amount of sharing that the food companies were willing to do in the rag trade, and you know, everything was kept secret. And, you know, they wouldn't share anything with anybody. But in the food, they were all willing to help each other, very much in the spirit that Trudy spoke about there. So long may that continue. But just a question maybe for Trudy. You're very much producer focused. Did you ever feel widened out to restaurants, hotels, and do what?
I'm glad you just asked that. At the moment, Visit Wexford and Taste Wexford are set up meetings so that we can join the dots. So we have the producer leading into the Taste Wexford, which is all the chefs and all of the restaurants, and then the Taste Wexford then linking into the Visit Wexford. So we're wanting to get the whole package done so that when people come down, they should be able to QR code where they're going, where the food is produced, who's producing near. And these meetings are starting now because all three want to come together and just to improve the offering for anyone coming in. Like, it's a coastal county and it's the sunny southeast, so people are coming, but they need to come and they need to see that their rashers on the breakfast was O'Neill's, Strike Your Bacon, Cologne yogurts and that. So we need to educate the chefs, and the chefs need to link it in with the tourism. So we have a 3-pillar prong now that's been started, and these meetings are just starting in the next couple of weeks. So we'll be working in with our own Leo, with Bridge, Cosgrave, and we'll be definitely linking in with Board Bia as well, because we just feel now that the future of food, tourism, and the food that's been displayed by the chefs, we need to get everyone together. So we're looking at the Wexford Food family, Taste Wexford have their platform, and then Visit Wexford. So all three are going to stay independent, but now we're going to start working together on different areas so that we can actually improve for all three at the one time. And that's where we're going to bring it forward now.
All right. Well, thank you very much. And we're going to have to wrap up now. But I know that we can be a little bit tentative on raising our hands with a microphone and asking questions. So our three panelists will be in the back, and they'll be grabbing coffee, etc. So if you want to have a chat with them, and certainly as someone who's part of a new network, I can tell you that there is value even at the beginning. It's a lot of hard work, but if there is a food network in your area, do get involved. Do reach out because they will reach back. So Vivian, I thank you for our time, and thank you very much to all three of our panelists.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Olivia, Conal, and Trudy.